Hey guys, tonight we're staying up way past bedtime because some stories only come out when the janitor's keys stop jingling and the last bus sighs away into the dark. Outside my window right now, rain is tapping on the glass like impatient fingernails, the same rhythm it made that night against the tall windows of Ridgewood High. Fluorescent lights hum even when they're off, you know that? Like they're dreaming of daylight. And if you listen close in an empty school, you can hear footsteps that don't belong to anyone still breathing. You probably won't make it to morning after this one. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your city and the exact time you're watching in the comments. I swear the story changes depending on where the clock hands are sitting. I still read every single one when I can't sleep. Now, dim the lights, maybe crack open a window for that midnight breeze, and let's walk the halls together. It was the first Friday in November, the kind where the sky forgets to turn off the faucet. Me, Lila, Marcus, and Jaden had biked back to Ridgewood after the football game because Jaden swore he left his retainer in the chem lab sink. Classic excuse. The chain link gate was already padlocked, but Marcus knew the loose panel by the loading dock. Every senior does. We slipped through like we owned the place, shoes squelching on wet concrete, laughing too loud because the dark makes you brave until it doesn't. Ridgewood High was built in 1963, one of those brutal concrete boxes with asbestos surprises and a boiler that screams like a dying whale. Real place. Google it if you want. The East Wing still has the original fallout shelter signs. We weren't supposed to be there, obviously. Curfew patrol cruises by twice a night. But at 2:47 a.m. the parking lot was nothing but puddles reflecting a sick orange moon. We split up for 5 minutes. Lila and I to the second floor language hall, Marcus and Jaden downstairs to chem. My phone flashlight carved tunnels through the dark. Lockers stood in perfect rows like soldiers waiting for a war that ended 50 years ago. The air tasted like chalk dust and old fries. I remember dragging my fingers along the cold metal doors, reading the faded Sharpie graffiti. Class of '09 was here. Sarah plus Dylan forever. Little time capsules from people who probably have kids now. That's when the temperature dropped hard enough to see our breath. Not weird for November, but sudden, like someone opened a freezer behind us. Lila grabbed my sleeve. "You feel that?" she whispered. I did. Then the smell hit. Pencil shavings and lilac perfume. The exact combo Mrs. Halloway wore when she subbed sophomore year. She died that spring. Heart attack right at the whiteboard. Everyone said the room still smelled like her. We laughed it off, because what else can you do when the dead say hello with perfume? Kept moving. My phone buzzed. No signal, just the clock flipping to 3:17 a.m. And that's when it rang. Not a phone, not an alarm. A bell. The big one above the office. The one they only use for tornado drills and graduation. One long, metallic clang that rolled down every hallway, vibrated in my teeth, kept going long after a real bell should have died. But here's the thing. Ridgewood's bell system was disconnected in 2018 after lightning fried the wiring. Principal Aguilar bragged about it at assembly, budget cuts, whatever. There hasn't been a working bell in 7 years. Yet there it was, clear as the rain still dripping from my hair. One ring. 3:17 exactly. Lila's eyes went wide. "That wasn't ours," she said, voice cracking like thin ice. Downstairs, Marcus started yelling our names, the way you do when funny stops being funny. We bolted for the stairwell, shoes slipping on the wet tile. The emergency lights flickered, just once, like the building blinked. When we hit the first floor, Jaden was pale under his hoodie. "Tell me you heard that," he panted. Marcus just pointed toward the senior hallway. Every single locker door was hanging open, not forced, handles turned, gentle, like someone politely invited us to look inside. And from the far end, where the trophy cases glow under those little spotlights, came the faintest strain of music. The alma mater, but slow, underwater, played on what sounded like a music box. I know every urban legend about this school. The girl who hung herself in the auditorium catwalk, the janitor who vanished in '94, the freshman who drowned in the pool that doesn't exist anymore. Kids make shit up. But standing there with cold water pooling around my sneakers and that impossible bell still echoing in my bones, I felt the first real curl of curiosity twist into something sharper. We should have left. Any sane person would have climbed back through the fence and biked home to warm beds and parents who'd ground us for life. But the open lockers were breathing. I swear, little puffs of frost curling out like cigarette smoke. And the music box kept playing, tugging us forward the way tides tug boats that never come back. I took one step, then another. Lila's hand found mine, fingers ice cold. Behind us, the exit sign buzzed and went dark. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught. But the building disagreed. It had a curriculum, and tonight we were enrolled whether we liked it or not. The hallway stretched longer than it should have, perspective doing that funhouse trick where the end keeps scooting away. Trophy faces stared from dusty frames. Kids with bowl cuts and dreams bigger than this town. Their eyes followed us. I'm not being poetic. The glass reflected our flashlight beams wrong, like the photos were watching live feeds. Another clang. Not the big bell this time. Something smaller, inside the walls. Like a locker slamming far away, then closer, then right beside us. We jumped, spun, saw nothing. Just rows of open mouths waiting to swallow secrets. Marcus whispered the rumor everyone knows, but no one says out loud. Every 20 years, Ridgewood rings its own bell to collect late students. The last time was 2005. 3 kids vanished after prom, found weeks later sitting in homeroom like they'd never left. Yearbooks open to blank pages where their senior photos should have been. I told myself that was bullshit. Just a story to scare freshmen. But my phone now read 319, and the battery was draining so fast I could watch the percentage fall. The music box hit the final note of the alma mater and held it, stretched it into a scream no human throat could make. We reached the intersection where the east wing branches off. That part of the school's been closed since the flood of 2011. Ceilings caved, black mold, the works. Yellow caution tape sagged across the entrance like crime scene leftovers. Except the tape was moving. Not wind. There was no wind. It fluttered like something on the other side was breathing on it. Lila squeezed my hand hard enough to hurt. "We go home now," she said. But her feet didn't move. None of us moved. Because from behind that tape came the softest sound, a pencil rolling across a desk. Then another. Then a chorus of them, like an entire classroom waking up for first period. I looked at my friends, saw the same realization blooming on every face. The bell at 3:17 a.m. wasn't calling us to class. It was taking roll. The caution tape snaps the second I touch it, like it's been waiting years for someone stupid enough to cross. Cold air rolls out of the east wing carrying that pencil shaving smell again, stronger now, mixed with wet paper and something metallic, blood, or just old pennies, Hard to tell when your heart's trying to punch through your ribs. My phone flashlight dies completely. Total blackout. For 3 full seconds we're blind, breathing each other's panic, until the emergency strips along the floor flicker awake with a sickly green glow that makes everyone look corpse pale. Marcus swears under his breath and digs out his keychain flashlight. Tiny thing, barely enough to see 5 feet ahead. The beam lands on locker 318. Door still open, but now there's a backpack inside. Not dusty, not vintage. Brand new Jansport, Galaxy print. The exact one Sophie Alvarez wore every day junior year before she transferred mid-semester. No one's seen her since. Rumors said family emergency, but her Instagram vanished the same week. Lila makes this wounded sound. "That's impossible," she whispers. "They cleaned these lockers out years ago." She's right. The district auctioned everything in 2019. I watched the live stream. Saw my own freshman gym lock go for $3. Jaden reaches in before anyone can stop him. His fingers brush the fabric and the backpack unzips itself. Slow, deliberate, like someone invisible is showing us what's inside. Polaroids spill out. Dozens of them. All 4 of us. Taken tonight. Me in front of the trophy case 5 minutes ago. Lila's terrified face in the stairwell mirror. Marcus mid-sneeze under the exit sign. The timestamps read 3:17 a.m. exactly. Every single one. The floor tilts. Or maybe that's just my balance leaving the chat. Because the last photo shows us right now, standing in this hallway, staring down at the pile. Except in the picture, there's a 5th person behind us. Tall, blurry, wearing a graduation gown 2 sizes too big. We bolt. Shoes slap wet tile, echoing so loud I'm sure security's coming. But no lights flip on, no adult voices yell. Just our breathing and that music box version of the alma mater chasing us. Louder now, coming from every direction at once. We blow past the band room doors, padlocked since Mr. Delgado retired, and the chain rattles like it's laughing. I risk a glance back. The green emergency strips are shutting off one by one behind us, eating the hallway section by section until the dark catches up. We skid around the corner to the senior prank hall, the stretch where kids toilet papered the ceiling every May since 1992. Streamers still hang like dusty ghosts, but they're moving, swinging, like invisible bodies just walk through them. And written across the big glass display case in fresh red expo marker. Detention, East Wing, 3:17 a.m. The letters drip like they're bleeding. Marcus grabs my sleeve. We go upstairs. Roof access. Jump to the annex if we have to. Solid plan. Except the stairwell door at the end is gone. Not locked, gone. Smooth wall where it used to be. Fresh paint still glossy. Ridgewood's layout is burned into my brain from 4 years of skipping class. There's always been a door there. I've hidden in that stairwell to cry after chem tests. I know it like my own scars. Lila's crying now, quiet hiccups she's trying to swallow. Jaden's muttering every prayer his abuela taught him. And me? I'm staring at locker 299 because the combination lock is spinning by itself. Click, click, click. December 27th, 34, my old combo. The door creaks open an inch. Inside, my hoodie, the gray one I lost sophomore year, still has the sharp apiece sign I drew on the cuff the night Trump won. It's hanging neat as you please, sleeves draped like it's waiting for me to slide my arms in. A note pinned to the chest. You left this behind. Don't be late again. The temperature plummets so hard my teeth chatter. Frost crawls across the metal in spiderweb patterns. Then the hoodie moves. Arms lift. Empty sleeves reach toward me like it wants a hug from someone who isn't there anymore. I slam the door. The lock clicks shut on its own. That's when the whispering starts. Not one voice, hundreds. Layered, overlapping, coming from every locker at once. Attendance lists. Michael Adams, present. Tara Chun, present. Sophie Alvarez, a pause. Then my name. Clear as the day Mrs. Holloway called it sophomore year. Still wandering the halls, I see. The lockers start closing. Not all at once. Slow, polite, like students standing when the teacher enters. Bang, bang, bang. Down the row, getting closer. Each slam knocks another year off my life. When they finish, the hallway is silent except for our breathing and the soft drip of water somewhere we can't see. Marcus tries the intercom panel by the water fountain. Dead. Jaden kicks locker 318, Sophie's locker, and yells her name like she might answer. Nothing. Just the faint smell of lilac getting stronger, curling around us like perfume from a funeral we haven't attended yet. Lila tugs us toward the only door still existing, the old trophy hallway that connects to the cafeteria. Except the trophies are wrong. Every plaque now reads the same year, 2026. Future state champions, future valedictorians, names we don't recognize. And in the center case, for senior photos, us, graduation caps tilted perfect, smiles frozen. The little brass plates underneath, in loving memory. I reach out to touch the glass, and my fingerprint leaves a smear that spells help in reverse. Behind us, the lockers all open again at once. This time they're full of shoes. Hundreds of pairs. Converse, boots, light-up Skechers from elementary school. All left shoes only. And every single one is pointed toward the basement stairs we haven't seen yet tonight. The music box stops mid-note. In the sudden silence I hear it. Chalk on a blackboard. Slow, deliberate. Someone writing on a surface that shouldn't exist anymore because the East Wing blackboards were replaced with whiteboards in 2017. But the sound is wet, grinding, like bone on stone. Lila's voice is barely air. It's her, Mrs. Holloway. She always wrote the detention list in the basement. I want to laugh. I want to scream. Instead, I say the dumbest thing possible. We're not even in detention. Every locker light inside the open doors flickers on, tiny orange bulbs that were removed decades ago. They spell letters across the hallway, one bulb per locker. LAT. Then they blow out in sequence, plunging us back into green emergency gloom. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught. But the dead teachers here disagree. They've got a syllabus, and our names just move to the top of the page. The floor vibrates. Not an earthquake. Footsteps. Hundreds of them. Synchronized. Marching up from below. Getting closer. The basement door we haven't found yet creaks open by itself somewhere in the dark, exhaling cold that smells like chalk dust and graveyard dirt. Marcus grabs my wrist so hard I'll have bruises tomorrow. If there is a tomorrow. Run, he says. But the hallway behind us is gone. Just brick. Fresh mortar still wet. The only way left is forward, toward whatever wrote our obituaries in trophy cases and keeps our lost things like souvenirs. We run anyway, because that's what you do when the building remembers you better than you remember yourself. The cafeteria doors yawn open before we reach them, hinges screaming like they haven't moved since the last lunch lady died in '98. The smell hits first, tater tots and bleach, the exact combo that used to make me gag every Taco Tuesday. Emergency lights here are red instead of green, bathing everything in darkroom glow. Long tables stretch in perfect rows, but every single chair is turned backward, facing the walls like kids in timeout for eternity. We stumble inside because there's nowhere else to go. The doors slam behind us. No wind, no hands, just the heavy finality of a book closing on your fingers. My phone is a brick now, screen black, no matter how many times I mash the power button. Marcus's keychain light flickers once, twice, then steadies on the serving counter. Someone set the lunch line up. Trays stacked neat. Plastic forks lined like soldiers. And the menu board, those old-school felt letters, reads today's special in dripping red. Detention stew, served hot at 3:17. Jaden makes this broken sound, half laugh, half sob. This isn't funny anymore. It never was. Then the PA crackles. Not the modern intercom, the ancient one from the 70s, all hiss and vinegar. The kind that made announcements sound like God gargling gravel. A woman's voice leaks through, calm, patient, the way Mrs. Halloway used to sound when you forgot your homework for the third time. Good evening, late arrivals. Please proceed to the basement for mandatory detention. Tardiness will not be tolerated. Lila claps both hands over her mouth. Because that's not a recording. That's her. Same smoker's rasp. Same pause before the word tolerated, like she's savoring it. The lights overhead start to strobe, slow, deliberate, like a heartbeat with arrhythmia. Each flash shows the cafeteria changing. First flash, normal. Second flash, every tray now has a name taped to it. Our names. Third flash, the trays are full. Gray slop that bubbles like it's breathing. Fourth flash, the slop has eyes. I grab Lila's wrist and drag her toward the kitchen pass-through. We used to sneak cookies from here during pep rallies. The swinging metal doors part easy, too easy, like the building wants us deeper. Inside, the walk-in freezer door hangs open. Frost pours out in waves, carrying that lilac perfume so thick it coats my tongue. Marcus hesitates. Basement's the other way. But the kitchen tiles under our feet are tilting, gentle as a playground slide, herding us toward the freezer. Jaden tries to backpedal and slips, lands hard on his ass, slides 3 feet like the floor's greased. The PA lady laughs, soft and fond. Mr. Ortiz. Language. Jaden's staring at his hands. They're covered in something chalky. White dust. He lifts one palm toward the red light, and we all see it. Perfect fingerprints, child-sized, pressed into the grime like kids were just playing patty cake on the floor. The freezer breathes. One long exhale that fogs the entire kitchen crimson. Inside, stainless steel racks are lined with lunchboxes. Not modern ones. Metal, vintage, the kind with thermos caps. Each has a name stenciled in Dymo tape. I spot mine immediately. The blue Space Jam one I lost in 4th grade. Mom replaced it the same week. I haven't thought about that thing in years. Lila's already shaking her head. Don't open it. Too late. The lid pops by itself. Inside, my retainer from freshman year, still glistening with spit that froze mid-drip. And a Polaroid. Me, age 9, missing both front teeth, grinning in front of Ridgewood's old marquee sign. Except the marquee in the photo reads, "Welcome back. First day forever." The PA again, closer now, like she's standing right behind us. Some students never graduate. They just change classes. The walk-in door starts to close. Slow. Inevitable. Marcus throws his shoulder against it, bounces off like it's brick. Jaden scrambles up, helps, both of them grunting, sneakers squealing. Lila and I grab the handle too. For teenagers versus a haunted freezer door. We're losing. Frost crawls up my jeans. My fingers go numb. Just when the gap's down to inches, something on the other side pushes back. Not hard, gentle, like a teacher guiding a child by the elbow. The door wins. Seals with a vacuum kiss. Darkness. Total. Then the red emergency bulb inside flickers on. We're not in the freezer anymore. We're in the basement hallway. The real one. Concrete steps descending into forever. Walls weeping brown water that smells like old pennies and cafeteria gravy. The air down here is thick enough to chew. Every 10 feet, a single bulb swings from a frayed cord, casting shadows that crawl ahead of us like they know the way. Lila's teeth are chattering so hard I hear them click. How did we? Don't. Marcus cuts her off. Don't ask. Just move. But we can't. Because at the bottom of the stairs sits a desk. Teacher desk. Ancient oak thing that weighs a ton. I helped move it down here freshman year when they renovated the faculty lounge. On it, a seating chart. Yellow legal paper, curling at the edges. Our names written in red ink that's still wet. Next to each name, a little checkbox. Mine's already marked with a perfect check. So is Lila's. Marcus and Jaden's are blank. Above the desk, a chalkboard that definitely wasn't here before. Words scratched deep enough to scar the slate. Detention rules. No talking. No leaving. No forgetting. Underneath, in smaller writing, Mrs. Halloway presiding, permanently. The PA crackles one last time, right in our ears even though there's no speaker in sight. Welcome to period 9. Eyes forward. The lesson is almost over. Jaden's voice cracks. There is no period 9. The bulb directly above the desk explodes. Glass rain. Darkness again. Then the next bulb down the hall lights itself. Then the next, like a trail of breadcrumbs made of fire. Leading deeper. We follow because the stairs behind us are gone. Just cinder block. Painted the same institutional beige as every nightmare I've ever had about failing algebra. Halfway down the corridor, the walls change. Instead of concrete, they're lined with old announcement posters. Missing persons. All students. All from Ridgewood. Dates going back to 1964. Some faces I recognize. Sophie Alvarez, front and center, smiling like she's still waiting for first period. Others I don't. Hundreds. Maybe thousands. The paper is yellowed, but the ink is fresh, like they were hung this morning. Lila stops walking. Can't blame her. One poster has her little brother's face. He's only in 6th grade. The date underneath, November 13th, 2025. Tomorrow. She reaches out, touches the paper. Her fingers come away red. Marcus grabs her arm. We keep moving, but I'm staring at the next poster. My face. Graduation photo that hasn't been taken yet. Except I'm not smiling. My eyes are open but blank, like taxidermy. Caption, never left homeroom. The lights start going out behind us again, one by one. Pop, 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 darkness chasing. We run. The hallway ends at a door I've never seen. Heavy steel, window reinforced with chicken wire. A handwritten sign taped at eye level. In school suspension, do not disturb the dead. Jaden tries the handle. Locked. Of course. Marcus kicks it. Nothing. Lila's crying silently now, shoulders shaking. I press my forehead to the cold metal and whisper the only thing that makes sense anymore. Please. The lock clicks. Door swings inward on silent hinges. Inside, a perfect 1970s classroom. Orange carpet, wooden desks carved with generations of initials. Those pull-down maps that always smelled like attic. And at the front, Mrs. Halloway's desk. exactly where it used to be upstairs before she died. She's sitting there. Not a ghost. Not a zombie. Just her. Cardigan with the elbow patches, gray bun escaping its pins, reading glasses on a chain. She looks up when we stumble in, smiles the same tired smile she gave when you asked for a bathroom pass. Right on time, she says. Voice warm. Real. Take your seats, children. We have so much to catch up on. The door closes behind us. Locks. On the blackboard behind her, fresh chalk. Today's lesson, how to stay forever. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught. But Mrs. Halloway has all eternity to grade our finals. And the curve is death. Mrs. Halloway taps the seating chart with one liver-spotted finger, the way she used to when someone forgot to label the x-axis on a graph. Find your names, dears. We don't have all night. Well, actually we do. She chuckles, and the sound is warm cookies and razor wire. The desks are arranged in perfect rows, but the bolts that used to anchor them to the floor are gone. They glide across the orange carpet like air hockey pucks, rearranging themselves until four of them face us in the front row. My name is carved deep into the wood of the first one, fresh splinters still curling up like wood shavings. Not the careful etching of bored students. This was done with something angry or desperate. We sit. No choice. The moment my thighs touch the cold seat, metal cuffs snap around my wrists. Not rusty medieval junk, sleek, new, the kind they use in juvenile holding cells. Lila screams once before hers close. Marcus swears. Jaden just whimpers. Mrs. Halloway stands. Her chair rolls back and parks itself against the wall with a soft thud. Today's unit is reflection, she says, walking to the side of the room where a cracked mirror leans against the cinder block. It's tall, ornate, definitely not school property. Gold frame peeling like sunburnt skin. The glass is rippled, old, the kind that used to hang in the home EC room before they gutted it for the new culinary arts lab. Room 217. Everyone knew you didn't look too long in that mirror. Girls said it showed you with wedding dresses you'd never wear. Guys said it showed you bald at 30. Kids are dramatic. She adjusts the angle until we're all in frame. Eyes forward. The mirror doesn't show us in cuffs. It shows us in graduation gowns. Caps tilted perfect, tassels swinging. Except the fabric is wet, clinging like we just walked out of a lake. And our faces, God, our faces are wrong. Smiles too wide. Eyes milky, skin the color of old yearbook paper. Behind us in the reflection, the classroom is full. Every desk occupied by kids wearing the same drowned gowns. Some I recognize. Sophie Alvarez weighs with fingers webbed together. Others are strangers wearing clothes from decades I wasn't alive for. They're all mouthing the same word, stay. Lila's crying so hard the cuffs rattle. Make it stop. Mrs. Halloway smiles that patient smile. Reflection takes time, Mississippi Park. You can't rush honesty. The mirror ripples. The other versions of us step forward until they're pressed against the inside of the glass. My reflection lifts a hand and places it against the surface. Palm to palm with me. Its skin is cold even through the mirror. Then it starts to push. Not hard. Just steady pressure, like testing how thick the ice is before you walk on it. Cracks spiderweb from its fingers. Jaden's reflection leans close, whispers something I can't hear. Real Jaden flinches like he was slapped. It knows what I did, he says, voice shredded. Last summer. The pool party. It knows. We all have secrets that would curdle milk. Mine's pressed against the glass right now, wearing my face, but with eyes that have seen every time I looked away when someone needed me. It smiles with my mouth and says, clear as the PA system, you were always going to leave them behind. Marcus's reflection is the worst, because it's not Marcus at all. It's his little sister, age 7, the one who drowned in the quarry 2 years ago. She's wearing his hoodie, the one he blames himself for losing that day. She puts her small hand up. Marcus screams, one raw sound that tears out of him like barbed wire. The cuffs around his wrists start bleeding where he fights them. Mrs. Holloway claps twice. Focus, children. We're on a schedule. The mirror shatters outward, not into pieces, into water. A sheet of silver liquid that pours across the floor and stops at our shoes. It's warm. Smells like the lake behind my grandmother's house where I learned to swim. The surface shows a perfect reflection of the ceiling, but the fluorescent tubes up there are flickering in slow motion, like a dying heartbeat. Then the reflections start climbing out. They move wrong, joints bending backward, gowns dragging heavy with water that isn't there. Sophie Alvarez first. She crawls over the puddle on all fours, hair hanging in wet ropes, and kneels in front of me. Up close, I see the graduation gown is stitched from old detention slips. Thousands of them. My name is on every single one. She reaches up and touches my real cheek with fingers that drip. You forgot my birthday, she whispers. I waited in the parking lot. You never came. I didn't. I was grounded for sneaking out the week before. She transferred 3 days later. Or so they said. One by one they come. The kid who overdosed in the bathroom 2012, the couple who crashed on prom night, the freshman who never made it to second period after the fire drill in '89, all wearing our faces mixed with theirs, all whispering the things we never said sorry for. The room tilts. Or maybe the world does. The orange carpet becomes the surface of the mirror, and we're standing on it, looking down at the classroom below us. Tiny, perfect, like a dollhouse. Mrs. Holloway waves up at us from her desk, miniature now, smiling like a proud teacher on picture day. Lila's reflection grabs her ankles and pulls. She screams as her legs sink through the mirror floor up to the knees. The cuffs stretch, metal groaning, but don't break. Marcus is next. His little sister wraps her arms around his waist and drags him down like she's hugging him goodbye again. Jaden's already half gone, sobbing about the pool party, about how he looked away for 3 seconds and that was enough. I feel hands on my shoulders. Cold. Familiar. My own reflection, but older. Tired. Wearing the same hoodie from the locker upstairs. It leans close and breathes into my ear. Time to graduate to the other side. I fight. I don't know how, but I do. I think about my mom's terrible meatloaf waiting in the fridge. About the college acceptance letter I haven't opened yet. About the way Lila's laugh snorts when she's drunk on 2 wine coolers. Stupid, small, human things. The cuffs burn. My wrists bleed. The reflection hisses, like air leaving a tire, and loosens its grip. Mrs. Holloway's voice floats up from the dollhouse classroom. Sharp now. Cheating will not be tolerated. The mirror floor cracks beneath us. Not breaking, opening. A perfect circle, like a drain. The reflections grab harder. Lila's gone up to her waist. Marcus is screaming his sister's name over and over like a broken record. Jaden stopped fighting. He's just staring at his own drowned face with something like relief. I look straight at Mrs. Holloway, tiny, perfect, down there, and I say the only thing that feels true anymore. You can't keep us if we don't want to stay. The room stills. Even the reflections pause. Mrs. Halloway tilts her head, the way she did when someone finally got the right answer after 20 wrong ones. Then she smiles. Real, proud, terrifying. Correct, she says. But wanting and leaving are two different things. The cuffs snap open. All four sets. We fall upward, away from the drain, away from the dollhouse, away from the wet hands that almost had us. We land hard on the real orange carpet. The mirror is whole again, leaning innocently against the wall. No water, no reflections climbing out. Just our four terrified faces staring back, smeared with blood and tears and snot. Mrs. Halloway is standing at the whiteboard. She erases today's lesson with two slow swipes. Writes something new in perfect Palmer cursive. Extra credit. Find the library before the next bell. She caps the marker, turns, and for the first time looks sad. You're good students, she says softly. But some doors only open from the inside. The classroom door, the one we came through, is gone. Just blank wall. But a new one has appeared on the opposite side. Wooden. Old. With a frosted glass panel that reads Learning Resource Center in flaking gold letters. Behind it, something shifts. Books sliding on shelves. Pages fluttering like trapped birds. Mrs. Halloway sits at her desk. Opens a grade book that definitely wasn't there before. Go, she says without looking up. You have until the next bell. And children. She finally meets our eyes. Don't trust the photographs. The new door creaks open by itself. Beyond it, a hallway I've never seen, lined floor to ceiling with yearbooks. Thousands of them. Spines cracked, whispering. I help Lila stand. Her legs are shaking so hard she can barely walk. Marcus is cradling his wrists, staring at the place his sister's reflection was like he expects her to crawl back out. Jaden hasn't spoken since the pool confession. We step through. The door closes behind us. Locks with a sound like a period at the end of a death sentence. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught. But the ones that are, they follow you long after the final bell. The hallway of yearbooks doesn't feel like a hallway anymore. It feels like the inside of a throat, long, warm, lined with soft ridges that breathe when we're not looking. The books are shelved spine out, but the titles keep rearranging themselves into words when my flashlight sweeps past. Stay, learn, never leave. Gold lettering on cracked leather. Every volume dated 1 year ahead of the last. 1964, 1965. All the way to 2026, 2027, 2028. Shelves climbing so high the tops vanish into darkness that smells like attic and funeral flowers. Lila's barefoot now. She kicked off her soaked sneakers somewhere between the mirror and here. Her soles make wet prints that fill with ink as we walk. Each print spells a different name. Mine, hers, Marcus's, Jaden's, then names we don't know. Names that will be born next year. Names that were erased last year. Marcus keeps muttering, libraries on the second floor, not the basement. This doesn't make sense. Like geography can still save us. Jaden hasn't spoken since the mirror showed him the pool. He just clutches the Polaroid that came out of my old lunchbox. Me at 9, grinning in front of the marquee that read First Day Forever. The photo's edges are wet. The little version of me keeps blinking when Jaden's thumb isn't covering my face. We reach a junction. 3 identical corridors branch off, each lined with the same endless yearbooks. But in the middle sits a card catalog the size of a coffin. Brass handles, drawers labeled a Z. Someone's pulled the drawer for P. Our cards are scattered across the floor like tarot. I pick one up. Park Lila M. Senior portrait, 2026. Cause of departure, reflection failure. Date recorded, tonight. Lila snatches it, reads, makes this sound like a kicked dog. The card bursts into flame in her fingers, blue fire, no heat, and the ashes rearrange themselves mid-air into a tiny paper bird that flaps once and dissolves. Another card. Ortiz, Jaden L. Cause, looked away. Note, subject apologized 1,247 times. Insufficient. Jaden drops to his knees and starts scooping the ashes, trying to put the bird back together. Marcus yanks him up by the hoodie. We keep moving, but the floor is tilting again, gentle, the way the kitchen floor tilted us into the freezer. Only now it's tilting sideways, forcing us toward the middle corridor. The yearbooks on the walls start falling open by themselves. Pages flip fast, like time-lapse flowers blooming. Every photo is us. Not senior portraits, candid shots. Me asleep in third-period bio last spring. Lila crying in the bathroom stall after her dad's car accident. Marcus punching a locker the day his sister's memorial was announced over the PA. Jaden at the quarry, phone in hand, filming his friends while the little girl in the purple swimsuit drifted too far. The pictures aren't still. They move. Loop. Tiny screaming mouths, no bigger than ticks. Then the books start bleeding. Not red, black. Ink thick as tar, pouring from the gutters, pooling ankle deep. It's warm. Smells like fresh printed newspapers and the day after a school shooting when the reporters camp in the parking lot. Lila tries to step back and the ink grabs her. Tendrils snake up her calves, writing words on her skin in my handwriting. I'm sorry, I never texted back. She screams and it tightens. Marcus wades in, grabs her wrists, pulls. The ink fights him, spelling on his forearms. Your fault, your fault, your fault in his sister's kindergarten scrawl. Jaden's just standing there, letting it crawl up to his neck, whispering. I looked away. I looked away. I looked away. I do the only thing I can think of. I open the nearest yearbook and tear out a page. My page, age 14, the day I skipped Sophie's birthday. The paper comes away wet. I hold it to the ink, and it drinks the page like a sponge. The tendrils loosen. Just enough. We run. The corridor narrows, ceiling lowering until we're duck walking through spines that scrape our skulls. The books are whispering now. Not words, memories. My mom's voice the day report cards came. Lila's dad asking why she never brings friends home anymore. Coach screaming at Marcus for missing the shot that would have won regionals. Jaden's abuela praying the rosary in Spanish the night he came home drunk. Then the shelves end. We spill out into the library. Real library. Or what's left of it. The one that burned in 2003. Ridgewood rebuilt it upstairs, but down here the original stacks still stand. Charred beams, melted plastic chairs, the ghost smell of 30,000 books reduced to ash. Moonlight leaks through a hole in the ceiling that shouldn't exist underground, painting everything bone white. In the center, a single table. On it, for yearbooks. Brand new. Our names embossed in gold. Lila reaches hers first, hands shaking so hard the cover rattles. She opens it. The pages are blank except for one photo glued crooked. Us right now, standing around the table. The picture is already yellowing. Underneath, in fresh Sharpie, class of never. Marcus flips through his. Every page shows his sister at different ages. 6 at the quarry, 7 in the hospital, 8 in the coffin. The last page is blank except for a single line. Seat saved in homeroom. Jaden won't touch his. It opens itself. Inside, nothing but water. The pages are soaked, heavy. When he lifts it, quarry water pours out, carrying tiny purple swimsuit fibers. Mine is the worst. I open it, and the book screams with my voice. Every page is a different year I haven't lived yet. 25, 30, 40. Me older, sadder, standing in this exact library giving the same tour to fresh batches of seniors who don't know they're already dead. The last page is dated 2078. I'm ancient, hair white, still wearing my Letterman jacket. Caption: longest serving student. Perfect attendance. The book slams shut on its own. The embossed letters rearrange while I watch. My name becomes no name at all. Then the photographs start crawling out. Not from the yearbooks, from the walls. The burned portraits that survived the fire, curling in their melted frames. Students from every decade, faces blackened but eyes bright, peeling themselves free of the wallpaper like insects shedding skin. They drop to the floor with soft thuds and start walking toward us on hands made of ash. Lila backs into me. What do we do? I look at the table. For yearbooks. 4 of us. And suddenly I understand the assignment. We give them something better. I say. I tear the blank page from Lila's book, the one with our current photo, and fold it into a paper airplane. Right across the wing in blood from my wrist cuffs. We're sorry. I launch it toward the burned kids. It bursts into white fire midair. Not blue this time. Clean, bright, the kind that hurts to look at. The ash children stop. One reaches out, touches the flames, and smiles for the first time. Then crumbles into snow. Marcus gets it. He rips out his sister's hospital page, folds an origami swan, writes "Love you always" across the wings. Throws it. Another burst. More snow. Jaden's crying too hard to fold, so I do it for him. Take the soaked quarry page, wring it out, shape a tiny boat. He whispers, "I'm sorry I looked away," and sets it sailing across the puddle at our feet. The second it touches water, the surface flashes gold. The little girl in the purple swimsuit waves once from the reflection, then sinks peacefully. I save mine for last. The 2078 page. I fold it into a paper heart, stab it with the Sharpie. Right? I choose to forget so I can leave. I light it with the cuff burn on my wrist. It burns slower than the others, reluctant, but it burns. The library exhales. A wind made of apologies and second chances rushes through the stacks. The burned children dissolve into soft gray snow that piles gentle around our ankles. The hole in the ceiling widens, showing real sky, dawn, pink and forgiving. The yearbooks on the table are empty now, just leather and glue. Normal. A door appears where the card catalog was. Regular wooden door, exit sign glowing steady green. Beyond it, stairs going up. Lila laughs once, shocked, wet alive. Marcus hugs Jaden so hard they both almost fall. I pick up one of the empty yearbooks. On the cover, gold letters spell something new. Class of 2026. They made it out. We walk toward the door. The snow melts behind us, leaving the library clean for the first time since 2003. Mrs. Holloway's voice drifts down from somewhere far above, soft now, almost proud. Class dismissed. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught. But we just passed the only one that ever mattered. How to let go of the things that keep you after the bell. The stairs climb forever, but they're real stairs. Concrete with the familiar chipped yellow paint on the edges that every Ridgewood kid has traced with their fingers since kindergarten. Each step echoes like a heartbeat that finally remembered its rhythm. The green exit sign stays steady. No flickering, no tricks. Dawn is leaking through a push-barred door at the top. Real dawn, the color of orange juice and second chances. We don't speak. We just climb, for sets of wet shoes squishing in unison. My wrists still bleed from the cuffs, but the pain feels clean, like a splinter finally pulled free. Lila's hand finds mine halfway up. Marcus has his arm around Jaden's shoulders. None of us look back. We don't need to. The library's silence behind us is gentle now, the kind that follows a storm when birds forget to be afraid. I push the bar. The door opens onto the senior parking lot. Morning. Actual morning. November sun, so bright it hurts. The rain stopped hours ago. Puddles steam in the cold. Our bikes are exactly where we left them, chained to the rack like nothing happened. A janitor's truck idles by the flagpole, radio playing classic rock low enough to feel human. The marquee sign out front blinks the normal message. Congrats varsity soccer, regionals Friday. No 317. No detention. No bell. Just Tuesday. We stand there blinking like newborns. Jaden starts laughing first, hiccuping sobs mixed with giggles that make him double over. Lila drops to her knees right on the asphalt and presses her forehead to the warm hood of someone's Civic. Marcus walks in a slow circle, arms out like he's testing if gravity still works. I check my phone. 6:42 a.m. Battery at 1%. One new text from mom time-stamped 6:12. Meatloaf in fridge. Love you. Don't forget to eat breakfast. No missed calls from police. No Amber Alerts. No evidence we were ever gone. The first bell rings. The normal one. Tinny and off-key because the speakers are ancient. Kids pour out of buses, shouting, slamming lockers we can't see yet. Life. Loud and ordinary and perfect. We should go home. Shower. Sleep for a week. But none of us move. Because something's still tugging, soft as a sleeve. The second bell. Homeroom in 5. Lila stands up, wipes her face with the sleeve of Marcus's hoodie that she's wearing now. We have to go in, she says. Voice hoarse, but steady. One last class. We know which one. We walk through the front doors like we do every day. The attendance clerk glances up, does a double take. You kids okay? You look like you saw a ghost. We laugh. It hurts. It's wonderful. The halls smell like lemon floor wax and burnt coffee. Lockers slam. Someone's yelling about a lost AirPod. Everything exactly the same, except the trophy case has been updated overnight. 4 new photos in the center. Us, graduation gowns crisp and dry, tassels perfect, smiles real. Little brass plates underneath. Class of 2026, they made it. Under that, smaller, in loving memory of the night they almost didn't. We reach room 103, Mrs. Holloway's old room. Door ajar. Inside, a substitute writes the date on the whiteboard in purple marker. The room smells like lilac, but faint now, like a memory that's ready to fade. On her desk, for golden detention slips, edges curled. Each one blank except for a single word in her handwriting. Commended. The sub looks up, confused. You 4 are early. Grab a seat. We do. Front row. Same desks we sat in sophomore year when she taught us how to diagram sentences and how to say sorry when you're still learning what sorry means. The PA crackles. Not gravel this time, just the normal secretary voice. Good morning, Ridgewood. Let's have a great day. No 317. No backward bells. No music box alma mater. Just the shuffle of notebooks, the squeak of markers, the soft thud of hearts that remember how to beat forward. Lila passes me a note under the desk. Paper airplane fold. I open it. We graduated. I write back, barely. Pass it to Marcus. He adds a tiny drawn heart. Jaden draws a stick figure swimming with a purple swimsuit kid. We slide it into the tray on Mrs. Holloway's empty chair. The sub starts roll call. When she reaches our names, we answer here in perfect unison. Our voices echo a little too long, like the building wants to hold on to them one last second. Then it lets go. The bell rings for first period. Normal. Final. We stand up together. The detention slips on the desk burst into soft gold dust that swirls once and vanishes into the air vents. Outside the window, the flag snaps in a wind that smells like snow coming. The hallway lights hum their daytime song. Somewhere far below, I swear I hear the basement door close, gentle, like a teacher locking up after the last student finally goes home. We walk out into the corridor. Kids part around us without knowing why. The exit sign glows steady green. Beyond it, the rest of our lives, short and fragile and ours. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught, but we learn them anyway. And the building, ancient, bruised, full of every kid who ever cried in a bathroom stall, lets us leave with its blessing. We don't look back. We never have to again. The building settles into daylight the way an old dog sighs into sleep. Somewhere in the east wing, caution tape flutters once and falls still. Lockers close themselves with soft, satisfied clicks. The PA system gives one last crackle, then plays the morning announcements like nothing ever happened. In the library ruins far below, fresh snow covers the ashes. A single paper swan made of apologies melts into the beam of new sun leaking through the ceiling hole. The card catalog drawer slides shut on its own. P are now empty. Upstairs, Mrs. Holloway's chair rolls back under her desk and stays there. The gray book on top flips to a fresh page. For names in perfect cursive, gold stars beside each. Park, Lila, exceeded expectations. Ortiz, Jaden, demonstrated growth. Ruiz, Marcus, showed courage. Your name, learn to let go. At the bottom, in smaller script, see you at graduation. Be kind to the substitutes. The building exhales. Pipes clank. Lights hum their daytime lullaby. Papers on bulletin boards flutter though no wind moves through the halls. Somewhere, a pencil rolls across a desk and stops at the edge, waiting for the next hand that needs to write I'm sorry or thank you or I made it. Outside, the marquee flickers once. Congrats class of 2026. You earned this.